to Chris Study Studio. In this lecture, we will be looking at the application of concepts in teaching and learning. And so, what is concept? Well, for me, concept is an understanding of a working principle that is retained in one's mind, either through experience, reasoning, or imagination. Concept is an impression made upon the mind using creative imagination. Well, the emphasis here is on making teachers to teach using concepts. In teaching, the teacher is expected to help the students build a wholesome understanding of the workings of the principle using his creative imagination. That is, when the teacher teaches, it is expected that he presents his teachings in a way that suggests the students make good use of his creative imagination. The teacher is expected to create a scenario, a drama with the parameters that are within the concept for a wholesome understanding of the topic for the students. So the emphasis is also on the students learning using concepts. It is also expected that when a student studies or when a student is learning from a teacher, that he or she makes use of his or her creative faculty, his or her creative imagination, to make use of pictures and scenarios and dramas to correlate the working principles and establish a wholesome understanding of the workings of that principle. Some of this creativity that we are talking about can be married into the tutorial as you illustrate some of these working principles on the board. At times you tell a story, at times you dramatize, at times you demonstrate, at times you illustrate. And so, having said that, the emphasis is on teachers and students to teach and learn using creative imagination, which is the basic tool for a wholesome understanding of a topic within the confines of the working principle. It is not enough for a teacher to come up with a question and ask a student to solve that question in a certain way. What if the question is recreated? The student may not understand this new possibility, and because of this, the student may not be able to attempt that question. So it is better for the teacher to help the students establish a wholesome understanding by making use of his creative imagination. It is the job of the teacher to impart understanding into the students. It is incumbent upon the teacher to make sure that the student understands what he is teaching. It is basically not the job of the student to understand. Yes, it is the responsibility of the teacher to make the student understand. And that is where the job gets tougher, because the teacher should be able to make use of various stimuli to stimulate the student. And that's what in education we call stimulus variation. By the time you apply a lot of stimulus variation, you should be able to stimulate the student to learning, to understanding what you are teaching. And that is why it is the job or the function or the responsibility of the teacher to help the students in using his creative faculty, his creative imagination, which is the basic tool for a wholesome understanding of any working principle. The way the teacher teacher illustrates on the board, the way the teacher demonstrates for the student is very important. It helps the student to make use of his creative imagination properly, and so a wholesome understanding of the topic within the concept of that principle is established and achieved. I hope you have learned something from this little piece. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Don't forget, this is Chris Study Studio, where we teach mathematics, physics, and chemistry with concepts.